So my what I'm wondering about is how you've been doing during the pandemic. So like how has it been affecting you like on a personal level and like how has it changed your creative process? Or like is it
Um,
affecting your creative process in any
I was
way?
talking, I was talking with my friend about this the other day, and I was basically telling him that like the the pandemic, whatever, it kind of has like its ups and downs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I've definitely made a certain moves within the whole quarantine process or whatever that has catapulted my name literally. Like, I've reached other countries. My music is starting to like spin more. It's getting a lot more plays. So, and all that happened within the pandemic. So, I've definitely got my fair share of blessings from the pandemic, yeah. But has it like slowed down? Like I'd say the only way it is kind of affected my creative process is the fact that like I can't really go out and do much. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of where I get a lot of my inspiration when I'm making songs or when I'm doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just from like my nights and like my days of just doing whatever, I'll be able to generate that energy into some kind of art or a song, and I haven't been able to do so lately because I've just really been either in my house or um I have my studio that I go to sometimes. So yeah, it has its ups and its downs, but um I wouldn't say it's put me in a bad spot or anything.
Okay, so I wonder though, like what about playing shows? Is that something that's like affected your process in any way?
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah! All my shows for the year got canceled. Like literally fucking kazoo. I was happy. I was excited for that shit
Yeah.
because um I can't remember who else was playing there. What's that guy's name again? Something fat, right? But I was supposed to see him in. I was gonna link up with him in New York, as a matter of fact, and would have been cool if we were able to meet up in Guelph, but that didn't happen. A couple other shows that I had planned aren't happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess definitely on that side, um, a lot of my money from music would come from my shows,
Mm-hmm.
and if I don't have any shows, then the money is kind of tough. But so yeah, I'd say that's kind of like the worst part about this pandemic.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a similar situation where it's like it's been difficult to book shows as a performance artist because there just aren't any
Yeah.
gigs. And I I've been doing like a lot of stuff at home, so I've been like working on this interview series and applying to like online shows, but it just isn't the same. And I found that like I miss going to like the art gallery and stuff, and like I miss like going to the movie theater and just like the fact that everything is just so it's kind of like spooky in a way, like seeing people
Mm.
walking around in like masks and things, and like I found social isolation to
Yeah,
be
it's
like really
different.
difficult at the start, but um, yeah, I'm so glad to hear that you're doing well and that it hasn't been
Thank
having
you.
too much of an effect on your like creative process.
Yeah, thank you.
So when did you start making music?
Oh fuck, since I was like a baby,
Yeah.
I made my first. Yeah, like when I was like, and this is not a cap. My first song, I made that shit when I was probably like 3 or 2, and I was in daycare. And it was me and my sister, and she gave me the first verse. And obviously, like it wasn't like the best of bars, you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Just rhyming, but I was able to form like an 8 bar verse from so young, and that stems from me listening to a bunch of rap music from when I was a baby till now. My parents had me listening to all the goats, down from like you have the Bob Marleys, then you have like the Vibes Cartels, then you have the Nas, then you have the Jay-Z's, then you have the Michael Jacksons, then you have the Wu-Tang, then you have, and my mom also used to play like a bunch of dance music too, as well, like a lot of pop, like deep house shit. started playing like the underground raves or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've definitely been uh just around music my whole life.
That,
And yeah, that kind of made me able to start creating music from a young age, I'd say.
that's amazing. And then when did you know or like decide that you wanted to do it as like a job, as like your full-time thing?
I think after high school, cause yeah, definitely after high school, cause um initially I was a track star, right? I used to be on, definitely on my track shit, and I was trying to get a scholarship, but then I got injured. People started getting faster than me, and I kind of just started forgetting about, not forgetting about my track dreams or whatever, but like I just stopped focusing on it. And at that time, I was heavy on my music creating, like I always in the studio. And my studios aren't like big time studios, they it would be like a basement, or like I used to go to the library, and I choose those places because I'm able to create freely, and I don't have like that anxiety of when to stop or like how much songs I got to do. So um yeah, I create in those spaces, and then yeah, doing so would allow me to like build this sound, I would say. And that was my troubles, trying to find my sound.
Okay.
And I guess when I found my sound, that's when I was like, all right, yeah, I'd rather do this than go to school or you know try to find like a job or something, because I was actually having fun creating so much, and
Mm-hmm.
then when I started performing, that's when like that's when the real fun started happening, because I
Yeah.
started making money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I definitely say it's when I graduated or when I left high school, that's when I started feeling like this is gonna be a job. And then and as I said, once I started performing, that's when like I really locked into it.
So like what is your creative process like? So when you're writing music, what what happens? Like what do you do?
So fun fact, I don't write. I freestyle, but
Okay.
it's like it's not like I'm going to the mic and it's all off the top of the head, like I sit in front of the computer. I usually do the engineering myself for like the
Mm-hmm.
rough draft of the song. So I sit at the computer, think of my first line, and then think of a line that could obviously come after that. And once I started that, hold on, did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Some just said that my internet was unstable, but um, yeah, uh, I sit at the computer, think of whatever I'm gonna say, and I just go bar for bar. Like I punch in, record, then stop recording, think of a next bar, record, and doing so, I'm able to have fun and like be in the moment,
For sure.
because one thing about me, that's like the epitome of me, just like spontaneous in the moment.
Would you ever or like have you ever written for other artists? And like if you haven't, is that something that you would consider doing?
Um, I mean, like, hey, I've definitely been in the studio with artists, and like I'd help them out with a bar. But like my writing style is very complex and very different, and um like if somebody wanted me to write for them, yeah, sure, I could,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, and I don't see a reason why not, but it'd just be tough for me because as I said, like writing for myself is already one thing, so writing for somebody else who I don't really know deep down, it's kind of different, but it's definitely something that I do for shits and gigs or whatever. But Yeah, it'd definitely be tough for me though.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, like if you're saying that like writing is something that gives you anxiety and you'd rather freestyle, I guess like in that in that context, it might just not be the right thing for you to do. Um,
Yeah. But don't
but
get me wrong though, like I don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with songwriting, you know, because as I said, I've done it before and I've done it for like I've done it to a degree, you know, but
mhm,
like I haven't written a full song and it is some it's a challenge that I would definitely be with taking. Like let's say like somebody like Post Malone
right,
came to my management team and they're like, yo, Ty, we need you to write Post's next big hit, dude. You
right.
know, and I'd see that as a challenge that I'd be up to because there's a ton of artists that have wrote for other big artists like Frank Ocean. Um, what's that guy Neo? He's another good writer. Um, so yeah, it's definitely something that I do down the line for sure.
Awesome. I'm curious about like what it was like for you growing up in Scarborough and how those experiences shaped who you are as a person and as an artist.
Scarborough is like if I didn't, I'll tell you this because I left Scarborough when I was in grade six,
Oh, okay.
and wait, no, I left in grade seven actually, and I left because I was getting out of hand, and similar to Will Smith in Fresh Prince, my
Right.
mom moved me up to Ajax with my grandparents, and to be honest, Ajax is where like the the TyriqueOrDie figure was born, you know, because in Scarborough I was a leader in Scarborough, but like I had a ton of people that I'm looking up to, you know, and like where I was living, like we were heavy on the gang shit, like super heavy. And I'd always look up to like the big dogs, and I definitely see myself wanting to be that as I was getting older,
Hmm.
you know. And it's fucked up because they're fucking drug dealers, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Hmm.
definitely not the lifestyle that you generally would want for somebody. But you know, growing up and living in that and seeing that firsthand, it was just it was literally fucking cool.
Hmm.
You know, as a kid seeing that shit. You know, and like I'd wear the baggy pants like these guys. I even had like the blue flag. You know what I'm saying? Like I was super into shit. And then, but yeah, I got suspended from school. Like I was getting suspended like a lot of times, but this one last time I got suspended, and I got kicked out of school for like months, and my mom was like, "Yeah, Ty, get the fuck out of here." She didn't say it like that, but like you know, she was Ty,
Yeah.
you gotta hand that. So she brought me up to my grandparents' house, and I moved up to Ajax, and Ajax is where I did a lot of character developing. I did a lot of growing, you know, because my mom was kind of like she was like my dog, you know. So if I needed anything, my Dukes was there for me. Whereas my grandparents, like if I needed something, they'll make me go get it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like yeah, so like and I was living there by myself. Whereas when I was living with my mom's, I was living with my sister. So just like a lot of things were changing for me.
Hmm.
And as I said, at that point, I started doing a lot of building myself, you know, started doing better in school. That's why I started focusing on like track and shit. So Ajax definitely catapulted me to where I am now. Because if I was still in Scarborough,
Hmm.
I would not be talking to you right now. I'd probably be in jail or I don't know. I definitely would not be making music though.
I grew up in like Corso Italia in Toronto, and I grew up listening to like a lot of pop music. I was listening to like Destiny's Child and like Pink and Alicia
Yeah,
Keys and things. And then
yeah.
I moved from like downtown Toronto to like the suburbs of Mississauga, and I experienced like a lot of suburban ennui. And
Mhm.
while I was there, I started gravitating towards things like emo music and like punk music and like crazy dance music and stuff. So it was like my environment changed my creative interests. And so I'm wondering if like the same thing happened to you
Yeah.
when you went from like living in Scarborough and to living in Ajax, where like the environment was completely different and your
I,
like the structure was totally different.
I definitely say that moving to Ajax introduced me to a lot of new music. But generally for me, I'm like in my own world, and I've always been like that as a kid,
Right.
or since I was a kid. And like whatever is in that world, like it will stay with me. So
Okay.
like I brought all the music, all the like basically like my same kind of like my myself artistically, I just brought that to Ajax. So but I was listening to a lot of Lil Wayne. So when I started, like whenever I would rap in Ajax, it would be rapping with like that Lil Wayne flow. You know what I'm saying? But no, Ajax definitely was a pivotal point for me because, as I said, like I was introduced to a new music that definitely like molded me now. Because when I was in Scarborough, I didn't know who MF Doom was.
Right.
I didn't know who King Cruel was. I didn't know who Tame Impala was. I didn't know who fucking shit. I didn't even know who Tyler the Creator was. I didn't know who some of these people were, but like I started hanging out with like the other black kids that lived in Ajax. So at the time, to me, I didn't think there was any black motherfuckers in Ajax. I thought that Ajax was like way up, way east. And I thought I was like the black sheep out there, but there was some other kids out there, and I was like, okay, cool. And we all became cool, and everybody just started like sharing ideas and like
Hmm.
other interests, and like as I said, like people would put me. They're the ones who would put me on like the MF Dooms or like the Joey Badass. Literally like all the people who I listened to throughout high school that came from Ajax. So yeah, man, Ajax was definitely it's still not too different. It's not too different from the hood. I'll tell you that, man. Ajax has some scary places where it resembles hoods.
When I was like 17, when I was like in high school, I used to go to these raves and on like Queen and Bathurst, and I used to like go to these punk shows and these like metal shows and stuff. And like I'd go to like some like pop punk shows as well. And there weren't ever any like people of color there, like I said. There weren't any black people or like really many girls either. It was mostly like white dudes, and um, and it really surprised me because I really didn't expect it. I just like I was under the impression that if I was listening to this music, then there were probably other people like me who were also listening to that music. And it wasn't until I went to this Kid Cudi show in like maybe 2008 or 2009 that I started to experience a mixed crowd. And I've been noticing that there's like this evolution that's been happening with music where hip hop is really being influenced by like emo music, for example, even country music, and the same thing is happening with emo music as well, where there's like hip hop influences. And I'm wondering, was that like something that you experienced as well? Like, did you have a similar experience? And also, what do you make of this like new shift that's happening with like genre mixing and like cultural exchange?
Um, I definitely say that I experienced it at my shows.
Okay.
Like the crowds at my shows are mainly were mainly white people,
Okay.
and it's lit because I'd be at a show and or I'd go to a concert and it's mostly black people. So when I'm performing, it's a bunch of white kids that are in the mosh pit. That's lit.
That's amazing.
And then there's some shows where the crowds will be very mixed. And it like I remember I did this one show in what's it called? It's like Bay Station, like
Mm,
Lower Bay Station,
right.
and the mayor pulled up, and then there was a bunch of other like hood guys there.
Okay.
So like the demographic was kind of crazy because you have like this crowd of people in their 30s and 40s, and a crowd of kids in their 16s. So I actually appreciate the diversity that I see, and that we're getting from music. It's everywhere, as you said. It's in all the genres.
Yeah, and to be clear, I mean, I think it's amazing that people are moshing at your shows. I haven't been to like many hip hop shows where, or like shows with, I haven't been to many shows lately where people are like moshing. So
You
it's
gotta
pretty cool.
come to my show.
Yeah, I really
My
do.
next show, my next show, hopefully 2021. Shit, yeah. Hopefully, I want it to be 2020, but I don't think so. So 2021, hopefully, yeah, there. Because my
Yeah, I would
last
love
show was
to.
fucking insane.
It's really too bad though that you haven't been noticing a diversity in your crowd. Do you have any suspicions as to like why that is?
Um, I mean, I could definitely just like the music. My music, it's definitely it. I don't know, like it's for everybody. I'll tell you that. But
Hmm.
right now, like the black culture is mainly just like pure hip hop, or like rap beats,
Yeah.
So like even though I am rapping on these instrumentals, it's still more like the white kids. They're more so gonna be the ones that are gonna start dancing and jumping around, whereas like the black kids are gonna be there like nodding their head, vibing out. So um it, I don't. There isn't really much to say about the diversity that's at my shows. Other than that, like I know that down the line, definitely, yeah, there's gonna be a lot more black kids at my fucking shows.
I I wonder what is it about Azealia Banks that you love?
She was the first one. She was to me. She was the first one to do what I do. You know, like rap, like using hip hop flows and
Hmm.
rhyme schemes on dance instrumentals. She was the first one to do that. Before it was just people singing on a house beat. But when I seen what she did on that, what was that song again? It's fuck, I forgot what it's called.
Is it the first one that she
But
put out, the 212?
212 is nice, but that's not the one I'm talking about. It's this next one. Forgot what it's called. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, no, she hearing her do that was what my brain was what my brain always wanted me to do.
Okay.
Like I'd always hear a dance instrumental like on
Hmm.
the TV or wherever, and I just start rapping over it. But I never thought to like, yo, I could go into the studio and do this. And if I did, how would I do that? Like,
Yeah.
when I seen her do it, I was like, oh shit, be done. And that was all the information I needed. And that's when I started doing my shit.
Have you ever met her?
I was close. She came to she came to Toronto, and I got she was doing North by Northeast, and or one of the promoters, and the promoter knew the guy who was throwing, who's the then, like, he knows like the head organizer. And I met both of them that day, and they're like, and like that was the mission, literally. I was like, yo, his name was like Tim or whatever, like old white guys, right? And I was like, yeah, yo, I gotta meet Azealia, bro. And then he's like, all right. Then the last person was this guy, and he does like the backstage assessing for all the performers, including Azealia. So he was gonna be the one to be like, all right, Azealia, you're going to the stage, or Azealia, you need any water or whatever, right? So
Hmm.
he was gonna be the one to bring me and be like, yo, this is Ty. He fucks with you. He wants, like, I was trying to get her on a song, pretty much. And yeah, pretty much the guy came back and he's like, yeah, yo, Azalea's having a bad day. She's mad at everybody right now, and I don't think bringing you back there would be good for me or you. So I just like, all right, cool.
Aw. I mean, I'm sure you'll meet her someday. I mean, if your love is as strong as you say that it is, it definitely will happen.
Yeah,
I
no, I feel that.
I wonder, which do you prefer, X video or Pornhub?
Ooh, I'll tell you, there's a new one that I fuck with. It's called Tube Safari,
Okay.
but X videos is definitely way better than Pornhub,
Why,
in my
what makes
opinion.
X video better than Pornhub?
X videos has more of like Pornhub to me is like the McDonald's of porn. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a very expensive brand, and I'd rather support the other guys, which is X videos.
I always feel like with X video, because they have like this stark white background, and like Pornhub has like
Yeah,
this like dark black background. So it's like with the dark background, I can focus more on like the content that's there. Whereas like with X video, it's like this stark white background, and like the design of it always makes me feel like, I don't know, like my mom's gonna like walk in and I'm like gonna get in trouble or something. Whereas like, I don't know, Pornhub, it's just like a little more relaxed of a like viewing experience. And also I feel like the titles of the videos is like they're so fun. Like there was one that I saw yesterday. It was twerk.
I feel that.
Yeah, like the titles are so good. Like there was this one title, it was like that I saw yesterday. It was like
Yeah,
twerking mom and stepdaughter get caught. I'm like not 100% sure on like what they got caught doing because I didn't click it, but it was probably um getting caught having sex. But I would say Pornhub. I would have to disagree with you. I feel like Pornhub is definitely better than X video, though I definitely appreciate your perspective. Um, I have just one more question,
uh,
and
uh,
you posted a tweet recently that said, "My will to win is insane." I'm wondering, what is it that you're trying to win, and what is it that's driving you to do that?
um, a win is anything, you know. So I like a win to me is being able to have enough money to get to where I need to go. You
Yeah,
know, a win is like dropping a song and seeing the success. You know, a win is being able to get a gift for my family member, or for anybody, you know,
yeah,
because and like literally I've, like I come from a place where you want to do that, you know, you see though, like you do that and it's like you feel as if it's a win, you know. So that's why I said like my will to win, like my will to get shit done pretty much is
yeah.
crazy, because when I lock into that, I make sure I get that, you know. And that's like some Michael Jordan shit. That's Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Those are my dogs. Those are my idols.
I actually I know I said I only had one last. I know that I said that the that I had one last question, but I'm actually in like talking to you now. I'm curious. So like I guess you would say that like you are kind of like a DIY artist, and that you pretty much do everything. So it's like your entire practice, your entire career, your entire image is something that you're doing. So you have like full control of everything. It's not like a team of people who are working on it with you. It's just you and your imagination. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's fucked. You said it kind of cool. You made me sound really cool just now, yo. Like the way I like you framed all that shit. I'm like looking at myself like, huh, I do that, yo. That's lit.
Amazing.
That's lit.
Okay, well, thanks again for talking to me. I hope you have a good rest of the day. And yeah, it was
I'll
fun.
try. I hope you have a good rest of the day, okay?
Thanks so much. I'm like so stressed. I really wish that I would have like haven't I really wish that I was a little bit more organized and that I hadn't been like throwing all my stress at you. And you have been such a trooper in putting up with me. So thank you so much for doing that. I'll talk to you later.
Uh, don't, don't stress. All right, later.
Bye. Thank you.